Welcome to Consumer Community on BRTV. My name is Aliyu Ilias. Consumer Community is a program that protects your interests, your rights, and your privileges. Today, my guests are from Central Bank of Nigeria, and as you know, anything that concerns money concerns you and myself. So today we are going to get a lot of details about how you can manage yourself in financials, in banking sector rather. Today with me, I have the guests are from Consumer Protection Department of Central Bank of Nigeria. We have Mr. Abubakar Albasu, Head Advocacy Office, Consumer Education Division, Consumer Protection Department, CBN. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you very much.
Also, we have with me Mr. Oluwafemi Fakeye, Financial Literacy Officer. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very
much. I'm sure you are a consumer too.
Yes.
Because apart from you working where you work, you also consume things a lot. I'm sure you have your experience consuming different things. I'm sure also that you do complain when you have or you experience bad service. Moving ahead, we'd like to know the major role of CBN in terms of consumer protection. Mr. Abubakar Albasu.
Okay, thank you very much. One of the core functions of the CBN is to promote a sound financial system in Nigeria.
Right.
Now, to help us do that, we have to engender trust and confidence amongst the citizenry in the use of financial products and services, right. And that takes us to consumer protection. So we put in place structures and programs that will ensure that consumers are protected, they are enlightened about their rights and responsibilities, and that will give them confidence to stay on board or come on board the financial system. And what does that do at the end of the day? It strengthens the financial system, and that would help CBN to achieve its mandate of promoting a sound financial system in Nigeria.
As a consumer protection advocate, we'd like to know exactly how you are protecting this consumer, because most time we consumer think you are tilting towards this banks more than the consumers. We are supposed to be protecting consumers. So what are these things you call structure that you are putting in place to protect consumers?
Okay, so basically we have a department at the CBN called the Consumer Protection Department.
A whole department for that?
Yes, a whole department for consumer protection. That department has three core functions.
Right.
Number one, it creates knowledge and understanding amongst the citizenry as to how they should relate with financial institutions. Teaches them about financial literacy, how they can manage their resources for their well-being. And then also we have the market conduct function that we do, which is about proactive monitoring or surveillance over the financial institutions that the CBN regulates, okay, to ensure that they are dealing with the consumers in the right way. So that function sets standards for institutions that they must follow. At the end of the day, it's not about only enlightening consumers about their rights and responsibilities, or it's also about ensuring that you're monitoring the institutions to make sure that they are dealing with the customers transparently, there's proper disclosure, and so on. So, and then the third function now is complaints handling, what we call dispute resolution.
We are coming to that, because that's the major thing. We want to understand the process of consumer getting to complain and how fast the resolution could be. Let me come to you, Mr. Oluwafemi Fakeye. Have a look at all this structure in place. What are the process that consumer can embark to make sure they really follow and enjoy this protection you are having to protect consumers in Nigeria?
Okay, so the main thing we always advise them to do is to first lodge their complaints with their banks. Right. Because sometimes we get complaints where people just come forward, customers come forward to the CBN to, let's say, complain about maybe they've been debited and then the other party didn't get to, let's say, value for that debit. So what we normally advise them to do is you lodge your complaints to your bank and then make sure your bank gives you a case ID. It's with this case ID.
Can you break down, how do you mean by case ID?
It's just like complaint number.
Complaint number.
Right. Okay. Yes, so it's with that complaint number that we can now track your complaint with the bank. So when you lodge your complaint with the bank and after 2 weeks, maybe you didn't get a response or you are not satisfied with their resolution, you can now write to the CBN stating that case ID, and then we take it up from there.
But in Africa or Nigeria, so as it is, in terms of research, that shows that most Nigerians don't like to complain. What we rather do is that when Bank A give you challenges, you just abandon them there.
And move
you
over
move to
to-
the, and that's how Nigeria. So we need to encourage people to come out and complain. But process of complaining is another problem itself. When you get to particular bank to complain, from experience, most of them will just say, what is your, go to customer service. When you get to customer service, the queue itself is tiring. That's the first step. And having get there, the person will say, what is your complaint? They will need give the person the opportunity to get to the level of having case ID or complaint number.
Sometimes we normally advise that even if you do a walk-in, let's say a complaint, if you walk in to make a complaint and then you were not attended to, you can actually do an email.
Okay.
Do an email to the bank. After 2 weeks, if your bank doesn't respond, you can now forward that email to us.
That letter to go ahead to go ahead. Some of us don't even have smartphone to embark on that.
If you can't do an email, you can do a written.
So I think that written will be, perhaps from interaction, I got to know there is a particular form. Once you're on that queue, are you not expected to be given that form, or how do you ask for the form itself?
So you know, the customer care service, this customer care desks do a lot of things.
Yes.
It's not just complaints they listen to. So it's when you get to the counter and you tell them what your issue is. If it's a complaint you want to lodge, they give you a form to fill, and then you submit the form. You have the right to also ask for a copy of that complaint. So that you can hold it against them as evidence.
But you also have the right. Made mention of a ticket number. How do you get that?
So once it's almost automatic. When you lodge your complaint, they're supposed to key it into their system, and their system will generate that number. So, and that number they will now give to you to say, okay, we've received your complaint.
What you are trying to say, because of our audience, what I'm trying to say is that after you lodge that complaint and you submit your letter, you expect them to give you a number.
Yes.
So they will pick a paper and write, this is your complaint number.
Yes.
I doubt if Nigerian bank
two things.
Because I've complained a lot. I never.
Two things I would say to that. We have a program we're doing now at the CBN. It's called mystery shopping.
Mystery shopping.
So our people will disguise as if they are ordinary customers. They won't look suited like you are looking.
But I understand mystery shopping. We also have the
yeah.
arm in our
and so that's one thing that is helping us now.
It's a very good one.
Yeah, so we would see.
But are you sure it's not compromised?
No.
Are you sure these people will not be alerted?
No.
Are you sure?
No.
Because
who would do that?
The process very well.
Who would alert them?
So you are saying that if, say, the consumer go ahead and carry out a mystery shopping of a particular organization, a bank, and bring it to you, you don't mind receiving it?
So the mystery shopping, it is our own people that do the mystery shopping.
Okay, you mean it's okay? Don't let us go into that. It's part of the secret itself.
Yeah. So how? Then that is one. Then secondly, again, I think there's a lot of work that you guys, the advocates, need to help us to do.
Right.
Nigeria
is part of it.
It's a country of so many people,
right.
Over 200 million people.
Right.
So as much as we try to let them know, all the media that you have, the channels that you have to talk to people, let them know that things are no longer what they used to be. There's a new sheriff in town. The system now is that.
But the sheriff has been in town since now.
Now I can tell you that if you go back to our statistics or our research, you would see that there was a time when we had a skyrocketing of complaints.
Right.
But people
I
did
think
not
it
know.
has reduced.
People were laid
Another
back.
position of a takeover from
Because people now know that.
People
now know that there's a channel where they can lodge complaints. The institutions also know now that they can't be doing business as they used to do before. So they are being more responsible, more responsive in dealing with the consumers.
Right. Moving ahead as well, I want to ask, is there a particular number of customers that a bank must experience to establish a kind of seat or a kind of where they can be before, because if you go to conventional banks now, what you discover is that everybody is expected to stand with the aim that people will be attended to at a particular minute or what have you. But now we discover that some banks people are very, in fact, especially in the northern part of Nigeria, and when it comes to salary payment period, you need to go to the north and see what I'm trying to say. In fact, the mantra will be open like this because you see crowd coming. So at what point should people expect to expect a seat in a normal banking?
I think it depends on the number of customers that they have.
What? So So moving on, just to understand the process itself, that there is an expected number of people to be in a bank before there can be a seat for people to actually sit. That's what I'm trying to ask.
Now, what I can say to that is, for instance, if I take you back to the issue of complaints, you're talking about, for instance, when a customer comes in, they want to lodge a complaint, and they are queuing up on the queue. Before they get to that desk, they need to be given a seat. Of course, there are seats for them to sit down. But we always advise, take advantage of the different channels that we have for lodging complaints. So there are hotlines, the institutions, the banks, and so on. Even the CBN, we have phone lines that you can call.
So people should make sure they complain so that CBN will be aware of.
Yes, but
like I told you earlier, Nigerians don't like to complain. We like to just move to the next
let's encourage them to complain.
So, dear customers, it is your right now to make sure you call to let CBN know what they should attend to itself. Thank you for being part of this consumer community program. We'll be right back after this break. Thank you.
Getting your TSTV decoder just got easier.
Bros.
Simply log on to www.tstvafrica.shop. Select any item of your choice by clicking on Add to Cart. Click on Proceed to check out to make payment. For new users, fill in the required billing details. Check the website terms and condition box to agree. Click on Place Order. Click on Make Payments. On the payment page, fill in your card details. Confirm the amount and click Pay. You can also pay via USSD, bank transfer, and other payment platforms. Order your TSTV decoder now and get it delivered to your doorstep. TSTV, connecting your world. Getting your TSTV decoder just got easier. Simply log on to www.tstvafrica.shop. Select any item of your choice by clicking on Add to Cart. Click on Proceed to check out to make payment. For new users, fill in the required billing details. Check the website terms and condition box to agree. Click on Place Order. Click on Make Payments. On the payment page, fill in your card details. Confirm the amount and click Pay. You can also pay via USSD, bank transfer, and other payment platforms. Order your TSTV decoder now and get it delivered to your doorstep. TSTV, connecting your world. Getting your TSTV decoder just got easier. Simply log on to www.tstvafrica.shop. Select any item of your choice by clicking on Add to Cart. Click on Proceed to check out to make payment. For new users, fill in the required billing details. Check the website terms and condition box to agree. Click on Place Order. Click on Make Payments. On the payment page, fill in your card details. Confirm the amount and click Pay. You can also pay via USSD, bank transfer, and other payment platforms. Order your TSTV decoder now and get it delivered to your doorstep.
Yes, it is clear to consumers that after your complaint for 2 weeks, you are expected to get resolution. And if you don't get that resolution, you are expected to escalate the issue back to the Central Bank of Nigeria. We were discussing about when people are much in the banks and there is no available seat for them. You are trying to suggest a particular.
Yes, so as I was saying, we try to encourage people to visit the banks less, so that it's even cheaper for you. You're saving yourself the troubles of having to go to the institution. So there are many ways. So depending on the bank that you relate with, you can phone in. They all have hotlines where you can call and lodge your complaint. You can do surface mail, surface letters. Just do a letter, post it to the bank, to the head office or to the branch, and then you will get your matter responded to. And then also, like I said, you can visit, but try to visit less of that. And then you can send emails. You have emails where you can send to the institutions. And then also, if you go to their website, they have applications, or is it areas on the website where you can fill in a form to lodge your complaint. Now there is even the social media aspect.
Yes, please.
So
I
you
understand
can,
most banks will even get back to you.
Yes,
when
so CBN actually at some point made it mandatory. Before, social media is one area that institutions were able to promote their brand names and so on. But then CBN saw it as a tool that can be used to be resolving issues. And CBN made it mandatory on institutions that whenever somebody comes onto the social media platform and lodges a complaint against their bank, they should treat it as if it is through one of those other 5 channels I mentioned. And so it is now mandatory, it's compulsory, and that is why once you go on social media and you lodge the complaint, they immediately get across to you and then get your matter resolved. As a matter of fact, it's not good for their reputation to be seeing a lot of complaints on social media.
Well, it's quite open. Once people complain about them, it's everyone that will be seeing it, and they like to DM. My own personal experience, they will DM immediately, give you a direct message, and can you please give us detail, we'll resolve the issue. I think it's more quicker than even other channels. Then moving ahead, does CBN has a toll-free line that people can engage on in case if there's any issues, Mr. Faki?
Yes, we have a toll-free line, and the toll-free line is 0700 call CBN.
When we say toll-free line, that means it costs customers nothing to call.
Yes.
And I'm sure it's not unlike other one that a lot of people will be on it, but this one they will pick us. So after any
you might want to explain when you say 0700 call CBN.
Okay, please kindly
you have your okay, I don't have a mobile phone here.
Okay.
But if you look at your keyboard on your mobile phone, C is where you have, I think, two.
Okay. So what you're saying that this alphabet simply means
represent those numbers. The reason for having these alphabets is it's always difficult for people to have the numbers offered. And meanwhile, an issue might come up and you want to immediately have it resolved. You can't wait to go and look for the number. If you just remember 0700 call CBN.
0700 call CBN. So in our keyboard, we just
look for where those alphabets are. Maybe we should just translate it. Where is A now? A is also 2.
Yes, 2.
Then L is it 5?
So
maybe because of the program, I think we can still get that, and we'll fix that. Okay. Moving on as well, on this side, we believe that anything that has to do with financial issue, it's also CBN related. But if you look at issue of loans, after we have CBN itself, we also have what's called NDIC, National Deposit Insurance Commission, right? Corporation. Yeah. Whereby if there's any loan that is going bad or AMCON, but these days we have what we call loan sharks. I don't know how you are handling loan sharks. It's becoming a very serious issue in Nigeria, where people just get a loan of 5,000 naira. And you just see a cyberbullying everywhere, whereby just be saying this person has borrowed so particular amount. I'm sure you must have received such call as well. They will say so person has collected a particular loan. It's a serial debtor. There's a different adjective to qualify such person. But when we just think CBN. So CBN, FCCPC, what are you doing to such a problem?
So what tends to happen is CBN regulates institutions that take deposits, like the banks and so on. Now, people who, these loan givers and loan sharks that you call, are not actually regulated by the CBN. But however, what they are doing is becoming a big cause for concern now for the financial industry. People don't even know who does CBN regulate, who does CBN not regulate, and so on.
Correct.
And so CBN is already working with relevant government agencies, the FCCPC for instance.
I understand they are developing a
framework that they can
but
use.
I was wondering, is it their jurisdiction?
Yes, it is, because what the FCCPC does is they regulate products and services across all sectors. So now if you look at what they are doing with these loan sharks, these guys are not regulated by the CBN, but they are under the regulatory purview of the FCCPC.
We also invited to give more clarification. We also invited NITDA, National Information Technology Development Agency, because we try to ask them that how can someone launch a particular website or a particular app in Nigeria and you say you are not aware of it, it becomes a source for concern. So we're not looking at CBN, looking at FCCPC, looking at NITDA. There should be, because we actually saw the effort of CBN, FCCPC, and other agencies going after these people. But we think as a consumer, it is rather reactive than being proactive. These people, before they get to this level, there should be a system to tame them, whereby they will not be able to achieve such dastard acts in our country.
Well, what I can say to that is, what I can say for sure is there is synergy going on between CBN and all those other regulators whose functions affect the financial system or the environment that the CBN regulates. We have, so is it the FCCPC, is it the NITDA, is it the NCC? We have ongoing collaboration. And what they do from time to time is they look at issues, trending issues in the industry that tend to pose consumer risks, and they are addressed almost instantly.
You know,
the concern now is majorly around absence of awareness. We live in a society that is going digital by the day. A lot of evolving, a lot of things are happening on a daily basis. If you're tackling this angle, tomorrow is another angle that's coming up. So the most important thing is how informed, how aware are our consumers as to how they can protect themselves. And we focus a lot on that. Consumer empowerment. Empower them with knowledge that they can protect themselves by themselves in advance of any adverse thing that will happen to them. But that's the best protection you can give to a consumer. And that's why CBN invests a lot on financial literacy and consumer education.
All right. Looking at that, Mr. Fake, help us talk to a layman. What can he be doing, or what should he or she carry out when there is a need for him to maybe put in his BVN in any forms or whatever? Because BVN, I was thinking is much more personal. But you see different people coming around, say, fill this form, it could be community issue, put your BVN. Is that not a risk?
I think if it's not your financial institution, I don't think you should give out your BVN to any person. Your BVN should be your personal bank verification number. If it's not your financial institution, I don't think you should give it out to any other person. A valid means of identification in Nigeria should be your NIN. That's your national identification number. So once they have your national identification number, I think they should be able to know you as a person, not your
But
BVN.
you see different people just come with all sort of form and say, add your BVN.
You know,
by the time I was even at Save the Consumer, we intend to even write to CBN that at what point should we even give out this BVN? Because a lot of things, they will require BVN, and it's not financial related. It becomes a really cause for concern that what's this all about?
So you know, the fraudsters always evolve also in their own ways. They always come up with new tricks.
Especially this digital age.
Now it is given that your BVN is part of your bank details, and you should guard it the way you should guard your account number, for instance, or your PIN, and so on. So if you are not sure of who you are giving your BVN, don't give it to them. The most important is guard your BVN, because when you give out your BVN, you have compromised. And by the time you lose money to that, it makes it difficult for even the regulators to help you get back your money, because you are the one that has compromised ab initio. So I think what we should be telling Nigerians is that as much as possible, protect your BVN just the way you protect your checkbook, your ATM card, your PIN, your account number, and so on.
I will be able to adhere to it. It's pretty difficult because you see all manners of different that you need to put in your BVN. As we are winding up, can you tell us your handles, platforms that we can easily complain or raise our concerns? If at least what you said is the first point of contact should be our bank, right?
Yes.
We should not just rush to CBN and complain, right?
Yes.
We should go to our bank, but if they fail to respond to us after 2 weeks, right? So
Yes.
what should we do? What platform should we get back to?
You can send an email to cpd@cbn.gov.ng, or you address your letter to the Director, Consumer Protection Department, Central Bank of Nigeria. So I think those channels
okay. No social media and do like at Nigerian like to tag you and do a lot of things.
I think it's Send Bank. It's Sendbank on Twitter.
On Twitter.
Yes,
right.
at Sendbank.
So and you people are much more responsive at that platform, right?
Yes.
At this digital age, every organization is looking at that. Thank you for being part of this edition, Mr. Abubakar Albasu, Head Advocacy Office, Consumer Education Division, Consumer Protection Department, Central Bank of Nigeria. Thank you for being here today. Also, Mr. Oluwafemi Fakeye, Financial Literacy Officer, Consumer Protection Department as well, right?
Yes.
Thank you for being here today. We appreciate your coming.
Thank you.
And we'll definitely be calling you time to time to discuss consumer-related issues. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
All right, on consumer experience, today we'll be looking at the value of a customer. What's the value of your customers? As you know, that once you have a particular customer, you are expected to manage these customers so that you manage them for lifetime if possible. Do you know why? If you don't manage them, it's pretty difficult for you to go and market to get another customer. And this is why you must make sure you manage the one you have. And how do you manage them? Is by making continuous marketing and management. Perhaps you could say, buy this, we give you this. Buy this for 1 year, we give you that. These are the things you need to put in place. Customer value are very, very important. You need to take it serious because it takes you about 10 times to market a new person to buy from you. Thank you for being part of today's program. We'll see you next week at Consumer Community. Thank you for being there. Thank you.
Getting your TSTV decoder just got easier. Simply log on to www.tstvrafrica.shop. Select any item of your choice by clicking on Add to Cart. Click on Proceed to check out to make payment. For new users, fill in the required billing details. Check the website terms and condition box to agree. Click on Place Order.